participants. Bloody hell.
You've got loads of people. You're lots of fans in this group, I promise you.
Brilliant.
And I should have done all this before I introduced you.
It doesn't matter.
But anyway, as I'm letting people in, those who are joining, as you know, we've got Karl Smith, the brilliant Karl Smith. He's going to talk to you about being committed. He is a fantastic hypnotherapist, incredible trainer. What do you call it? The inventor or the developer or the creator of Kinetic Shift, which is changing thousands of people's lives. And as I said just a moment ago, for those who didn't join, only just joined, above all of that, he's a fantastic, really good man and a really good friend. So I'm going to hand over to you, Karl. Enjoy, and I'll speak to you in a bit. I'm going to pin you to the screen.
Pin me, Freddie.
Or spotlight you forever. Is that for everyone? Is that right?
That'll do. I've just pinned myself.
Right, okay.
Happy days. Hello, my friends. I hope you're fine. Hope you're well. My name's Karl, as Freddie just mentioned, and I've been a good friend of Freddie's for a few years now, and I do enjoy a good beverage with him when we go to Hypno Thoughts Live. And I will get that in now. We don't get any extra for this, but anyone who's not experienced Hypno Thoughts Live as a hypnotist or change worker or life changer, it's the best. I would say it's the best conference out there. And you know, me and Freddie go out there every year. So does Amanda. And a couple of other people that are in here as well. It's a great way to do it. Honestly, I've got no money. I don't get any money for doing that. It's just a case of I think it's a great punt just to go out there and go do it. And don't think, oh, it's Vegas, it's going to cost too much. You can probably get it cheaper than going on a holiday in your local place. So today, just a brief, for those people who don't know me, I did 12 years in the British Army, went to all the places that your Lum Polly or your holiday representative will send you to. Went to all the sandy beaches, did all of that. I've been to a lot of war zones in my life, and I've seen the worst and the best in humanity. I left the army, and then after one day, so I left the army on a Friday. It was well planned. I planned what I was going to do. It takes a year to get out of the military in England, and a year I got out. I left on the Friday, and on the Sunday I joined the police up in Whitehaven, up where we were just talking about then. I was up in sunny Cumbria, or not so sunny, Freddie. Not so sunny, as you'll find out. Cumbria, and I spent another 12 years in the police. But what happened, and a really pivotal point, and for some people that have heard this story before, I'm really sorry, but I think it does add to what we're doing today, is that on August the 4th, 2006, I was run over by a drink driver, a DUI, or drunk in charge, whatever it is from what country you're in, to which was an incident that changed my life forever. I had no interest in hypnosis, hypnotherapy, EFT, TFT, whatever you name it, whatever this week's new gadget is. I had no interest in it. But I was injured. My leg was buckled up. My hip was flexed. Injuries to my arms and to the top of my head. It goes on. But the long story short is that I felt that I was broken. I felt I couldn't overcome it. I felt I was broken and I didn't know where to turn. I went to counselling. Look, I'm really sorry, guys. I'm a hypnotist through and through. So I'm never rude about these things, but I am not a counsellor. I am not a psychotherapist. I am not a spiritualist. I'm a hypnotist. That is it, a direct form of hypnotist. My apologies if there aren't any hypnotists in the group. I think everyone is, but if you're not, then I just niche in that area or niche in that area there. And so I went to CBT and counselling, and they just made me worse. I will be brutally honest. CBT just made me worse. It just really, really did. It didn't. It was probably the therapist that did it. But then I met somebody who showed me hypnosis. I think was introduced to hypnosis, and then it popped a packet of Pringles like you've never opened before. And this whole drive, this whole thing, anyone who knows me, the people who know me in here or been in my group, seen my YouTube channels, anything like that, I am 101% committed to hypnosis. I love it. I absolutely, there is not a day that I don't get up, and I'm not talking about hypnosis. If I haven't hypnotized somebody or spoke about hypnosis, I'm going to be dead. That would probably be me. And that's the way I am. And I've got my own business, and I teach all over the world, the same as Freddie, same as some of the other people in here, and I love my job. And to do that, to be able to teach around the world, you have to be committed. Now, I did say that, being committed. Now, being an ex-police officer, being committed actually just means you're now going to go get locked up because you've done something freaky with a carving knife in the middle of the town centre. or you're, you know, doing something weird with a unicorn in the high street. You know, so being committed is probably not the right title, but the essence of it is about being committed to you and about being committed to your business. One of the key things that I see when I'm with therapists, and you know, some people call it luck. I make my own luck, as we all say. You know, last year, for instance, and this isn't a show. I'm not a show. I don't need to do that shit. But for Amanda and a few of the others that know me as well, know that last year I'd built my career up so much that I was able to leave London. I was teaching in London. I left London Heathrow, went straight to Dubai. I was working in Dubai, private clients out there. Flew from Dubai to Melbourne. I worked in Melbourne teaching a diploma and teaching hypnotherapy out there. And then I went to Sydney and I was working with a famous on a TV show called The Voice with Boy George and all that. For those who don't know, by looking in the group, you're all too young to know who Boy George is. But anyway, I was down there. I was working with Boy George in Australia last year on The Voice and doing that. And then I flew to Hawaii. I was on Waikiki Beach teaching 2 people how to do magnetic fingers and kinetic shift. That's something I do. As an induction in Waikiki Beach, stood in the water, bouncing backwards and forwards with a bottle of Budweiser, teaching hypnosis, which doesn't sound professional, but it's bloody good fun, I can tell you that. And then I flew to LA, then Vegas, to meet up with some of the guys that are in this crew. And then back to London, and then straight from London into Dublin, teaching in Dublin. Then I fell in a big pile of crap at home. Now, why have I told you that story? Because it's not about me showing off and being an arse or anything like that. It's not. It's about the commitment you have to do to yourself. You have to be honorable to yourself, and the commitment you have to do to your trade. There's lots of people that I see within this profession who don't show that commitment. And what I want to do today is I want to give you some ideas about how to do it. You know, the fasting. I haven't yet seen Mike's. Me and Mike Mandel are very good friends, by the way. I haven't seen Mike's video, but I've done a lot of work with Mike, so I can probably appreciate what's in that video. But one of the elements in there is about, if you are going to embark on these things, it's about being committed prior to doing it. It's about the prep work prior to actually doing the job. And it's the same as what I was talking about with me flying around the world. I've been committed to this job. I've committed my life to everything that I do. And it's given me the fortune to fly around the world, teach and work on national TV, work on and work with some really powerful, really, really great people. And what I wanted to do is just bring that to your attention. So when you're not just in your own lives, about being committed, about those therapists that are out there, about getting your clients committed to their own responsibilities, because that's key to what it is. Being committed is to do whatever it takes to follow through on your own responsibility. And that's the key thing there. And you've got to remember it's about being committed and responsible for your own actions. And I think when I watch a lot of therapists within these groups, and I don't mean to be disrespectful there, when I'm watching therapists within groups sometimes, is that you can see that there's not a lot of pre-planning or commitment or actual drive to do it. And I think when Freddie asked me the other day, so what would you like to do? There was 1,001 titles, but on the day that Freddie asked me, it was like all these little light bulbs were flashing up about people not being committed and about what they're doing. They're not committed to their careers. They're not committed in life. They're not disciplined. And that was what I wanted to bring to the table today, because normally people know me for teaching hypnosis techniques and ideas, but rarely do I come out of my little shell and talk about this. And like coming back to it, when I was doing Everest, when Eddie, who's in it, Eddie Farrow as well, Eddie's done it as well. And, but when you do anything like Everest, I'm committed. I am going to get to the top of Everest. Anyone who knows me knows I'm that fucking sorry if by the way, I swear. Anyone who knows me, I'm really committed. I am driven. I really am. And I made a conscious decision when I was about 8 years old, 9 years old, that one day I will get to the top of Everest. And me and Eddie that sat there, what's she doing? Chomping away or doing a lip balm while I highlight her while she's doing it. And that was the first stage. And I had to train for 8 months, and I had to be really good with my diet. I had to be good with everything. And I committed myself to that, because if you don't commit yourself to something when you do EBC, Everest Base Camp, if you don't commit to it, people die. When me and Eddie were up there, people were dying while we were up there because they hadn't trained enough. And you have to commit. You have to commit to training. And when you do that, then it happens. It's the same as when you're doing it with your business, in your personal life, or an achievement you're looking at. And that's what I wanted to preach today. It's about you being committed to whatever it is. And I'm going to ask you now. I'm not going to ask anybody to disclose it. But what I want you to do is I want you to write down in front of you something you want to do, but you've not committed to yet. And this isn't going to be a Tony Robbins thing. We're all sitting there going, oh, yeah. We're not going to do any of that. I want you to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, when I wrote down on that bit of paper, I'm going to Everest, I was going to Everest. When the doctors told me after my car accident I would never run a marathon, I run a marathon. When they told me I'd never ride a bike more than a couple of 100 meters, I went and rode Land's End, the bottom of England, all the way to the top of England in 9 days. And that's the type of thing. When people tell me I can't do anything, honestly, don't send me messages after this. If people tell me I can't or I want to do it, I'm that driven to do it. And I will summit Everest. I'm telling you now. And I'm committed to that. And that's the type of drive that I'm looking at. And I want you to be honest with yourselves while you're on here. And that's the purpose of why I want to do this. Is have you not committed to something? Have you thought, I'll do that, and I'll do, but then you haven't gone through with it? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit there and go through it in a moment. You keep your personal thing to yourself. But I want you to do it. I want you to write down something you've always wanted to do, but you've never fully committed to it. And then I want you to write down below, underneath it, why you didn't commit it. And I want you to sit there and look at those answers at the very end. And what I want people to do out of this today is to look at anything. It could be learning Facebook ads. It could be learning about your YouTube channel. It could be learning about a new technique, or it could be about business. And ask yourself, why didn't you do it? Why haven't you committed to that? And I think that's in anything that we do, whether it's fasting. I fast all the time. I do 18/6. I don't do the 72s and the 48s. I don't do that. I just do 18/6 a day. So basically, I only eat between 2 and 8. 2 and 8 you take, okay? So what I do then is that I just fast that way. I find it far better, and I'm able to keep fitter that way as well. But with fasting, you have to be committed. You have to prepare your body, and then afterwards you have to prepare as well. There's a lot of people that fast that sit there and have bacon sandwiches straight afterwards. They haven't committed to it because they haven't read what you should be eating straight afterwards, like avocados, pre and probiotics, really good pre and probiotics, and stuff like that. And I want you to write down something today that you haven't done, that you want to do, and I want you to write underneath why you haven't done it. And when you've done that, I want you to commit to it. I want you to commit to it. I want you to tell Freddie's group, when you're ready, when you're committed to do that. Because that's the point behind this. You've got to be accountable for what you're doing. Now, for me, I always wanted to do it because I wanted to do it for my sons, to be quite honest, to show them, that if after my accident, I wanted to show them that you can go through stuff. You can get through it. And I've always been of that mindset since the car accident, which flipped me upside down, my life upside down. I was always a positive person, but I was always funny and not that confident. Whereas this, after the accident, it changed everything for me. And then I was able to develop myself. And I want you to do that today. I want you to sit there today, and I want you to commit something. Because for those therapists that are watching this, if you can't commit or be responsible for your actions, how can you ask your clients to do it? How can you ask your clients to commit to change if you can't do it yourself? And that, I see many therapists out there that are going to tell me how they're going to change my life for the better and how great they are and what they do. And they also show me the Omega watch and they show me the fast car. But they're not really doing it. And that's the key thing, is sometimes when you look through therapy, when you look at these things as well, and some of the things that I see on Facebook about people who are hardly recognizable on the circuit, are telling me how wonderful and how great they are. But they're not. It's all faff. What I want you to do is commit to you. But the moment you start being responsible and being a leader within your sector, being a responsible person and a leader, that's when clients will change much more efficiently. They will do. And I said that to somebody the other day. I was talking to somebody. I said, they wanted to change. I said, how can you ask somebody to do that. Now, another reason was, if anyone knows me, right, if you go by my Facebook page, by the way, I was born in 1995, all right? Just to let you know that. But ever since I was a kid, I've bitten my nails. Now, the other day, I did a gastric band video. On YouTube, right, showing people how to do that. And if you look at the opening screen, you see my hand doing that. More comments were about, why should I trust you, Karl, to change my life when you sit there and you can't even stop yourself biting your nails or change something in your life? And that hit me profoundly. It really did, a couple of weeks ago, profoundly. And that comes back to why when Freddie asked me this the other day, it really did hit me and go, why am I sitting here changing people's lives? And why am I expecting them to change their lives when I can't even get them to do theirs? That I can't even do mine. If I can't sort my shit out, why am I asking people to do theirs? Now, I get it with therapists. We all have shit. We all have crap going on in our lives. We all have it, right? That's a given. The heat of life is always under the saucepan of life. And I get it, and I get things getting in the way. But I want you to commit today to doing something that you've been putting off for a long time. This isn't a Tony Robbins speech. This is about you doing something. I committed 6 weeks ago, and go look at that YouTube video, to stop biting my nails. And I did. I've only just filed them down. For the first time in my life, I've had to file my nails down. And do you know what? Do you know how bloody hard that was in the beginning to give up that habit? I did everything. I had people in this group that have helped me. I've had people, really well-renowned hypnotists, helping me with trying to bite my nails. And eventually it came down to, you're going to have to do it yourself, sunshine. You are going to have to do it yourself. Doesn't matter who you ask, what person, whoever it is, the therapist, the great therapist that you might ask, it comes down to, you've got to commit to this shit. And that's what I did. And for 6 weeks now, I've not bitten my nails. I filed them. Oh my God, I've been filing my nails. My mum can't believe it. After 46 years, 1995 I was born. After 46 years, I've actually stopped biting my nails. And I'm pleased as punch with them. I really am. It's crap for the kids because I keep forgetting I've got nails now and I keep like mashing them up. But the thing is that it didn't matter what therapy was thrown at me. Unless I committed to it, it wasn't going to happen. So what I'm going to say to you now is that some of you may have heard of this before. It's called a SMART model. Who here has heard of SMART before? When we're planning and executing stuff. And that's something, if you haven't, let's go through it and put whatever your plan is into place. Whether it be fasting, whether it be opening a new business, whether it be doing something like going to Mount Everest. We're going in November 2021, if anyone wants to join us, by the way. Eddie, come on, Eddie, come play. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a SMART analysis. We're going to go through SMART. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through it bit by bit, and you can see how it works. And we're going to see if we can do that yourself, all right? I do know how hard it is to give up biting your nails. Yeah, little things like giving up smoking. When we ask our clients, and that's what I'm saying there, when we ask our clients to make change, we forget about our bloody selves. And it really did. It really did that. And in this group here, by the way, in this chit chat, start putting in some of your ideas and some of your thoughts about that, about, you know, if you want to make it known about what you haven't committed, that's even more, because if you make it public that you haven't committed, then everybody can make you accountable for what you've done. It's about being accountable. And that day on that gastric band bloody video, that was one that just came up and kicked me right in the nuts. I didn't see it myself. I was happy sitting there picking my nails until they actually went right down to the right raw. And I think some of you might know what I mean by that. Literally just going down. But eventually I just sat and went, what the fuck are you doing, Karl? What are you doing? How can I ask others to do and commit when I can't be committed myself? So I did. When I went to Everest, I did. When I did Lands and John O'Groats, I committed to it. And I did all the training. Every year I do something stupid. This year I should have been at Everest again. I wanted to go higher next year, but I'm going back to do Mirror Peak, which is another peak. But I'm not going to start training now. In about another 2 months' time, I'll probably have lost another 2 stone. So since last year, I've lost 2 stone. And I committed. Do you know how I committed? I gave up wheat. I gave up dairy. I gave up beer. oh my God, I've given up beer. I haven't had a beer for 11 months now. That's shocking, isn't it, Freddie? But the thing is, I know, I've not had a beer for 11 months now. But because of the change that I wanted to make in my body and the changes I need to make, I had to commit to that change. Every day, for the first few months, it was really hard, you know, going into a pub and stuff like that. But not having a beer now does not bother me. Not having wheat in my diet doesn't bother me. Not having gluten. Whereas before, I was a proper chunky monkey. I was 2.5 stone heavier than what I was now. I am now. And I've lost that for being committed into change. And that's something I want you to do now. Pop it in the group. If you don't want to do it publicly, by the way, send it to me privately. I don't mind. But we don't have to shout them out until it isn't, or stand around beating our chest. But the idea is that what we want to look at is how we're going to change. November, that should give enough time to commit. Now, a lot of things as well, is people seem to get to this time of year and think, oh, well, I've got to do the 1st of January, a new, well, what? Why wait till the 1st of January? Start today. Whether it be a Facebook ad, what have you got to do to learn about Facebook ads to get your name out there? What have you got to do to learn about a YouTube channel to get your name out there? What have you got to do to run a marathon? Do you know what I mean? What have you got to do that? And I'll go through that now with a smart model, and you know this, and we'll go through it. So when you do things in future, if you look at it with a smart model, then it'll help you, whether it be, you know, personal gain, business gain, or anything like that. It will help you. And it's just a rough guide. And if I go through it, it's SMART. SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timescale. Okay. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timescale. And when we do that, when we put a SMART process in, specific. Okay. So let's stay with this at the moment. You can choose whatever you like around what you're doing. But if you put this up on your board, it will help you achieve whatever you want to do quite quickly. And if you throw yourself at it and commit yourself at it, it will happen. Specific. Okay. I want to run a marathon. I was told I could never run a marathon due to the damage to my Achilles tendon and my calcaneus, my heel bone. It snapped off. They told me I couldn't do it. So I always wanted to run a marathon before that, and I thought, oh my God, I've missed my opportunity. Then I got a bit cocky and I thought, well, I'll start running again. And I did. And the point being is I thought to myself, I'm going to run it. I put in my mindset, I'm going to do a marathon. I'm going to do 26.2 miles. I'm going to run a marathon. And then I sat there one day and I thought, right, how am I going to run a marathon? Okay, I've got to train. I've got to look at the training all the way up, and I've got to train prior to this event. This is what I mean. You've got to commit to prior to the event. You have to commit. Anyone who's ever done any sports or anything like that, you have to commit. Business, you have to plan prior. So I want to run a marathon. What do I need to do? Okay, I need to start running. So the specifics, what do I need to do? I need, for the specific element of it, specifically, I need to start off slowly, and then start gradually building my training until eventually I'm fit enough to complete it. So the specifics are running. There's no point me getting on a rowing machine, and there's no point me going in a swimming pool to train for a marathon. I have to run to do the marathon, unless you're unfortunate to be on a wheelchair. But the thing is that you have to have the specific. To run a marathon, I have to run. So specifically, I have to start running, right? That's the specific, right? You just choose whatever it is for you. What do you need to do? For me to run a marathon, I need to learn how to run properly. So it's specific. Measurable. Is it possible for me to do this in the time frame I've got? There is no point me trying to run and train for a marathon 7 days prior to a marathon. There's no point. You have to pre-plan, like I was talking a minute ago. Measurable. We have to have a lead up to it that's going to do it. Later on, we talk about timescale, but we've got to have events that happen prior to that event. The timescale will come to later. So we've got specific, measurable. can we do the lead up? Can we measure the gap? Can we, while we're doing this, watch our progress at the same time? That's another thing that we're doing. So that's measurable. Is it achievable? Is it achievable for a human being to run 26.2 miles? Absolutely. Absolutely. It may take some people a couple of days. It may take people, it's taking that man who did it in a diving suit. It took him, what, nearly a month? I think it was a month, wasn't it? It took him to do it. But on the same token, was it achievable? Yes. Is it achievable to do that? Yes. And what you've got to look at there is, so we've got the specific, if I'm running, marathon, I need to learn how to run properly to do it. Measurable. Is it something I can measure over time that will allow me to realize if I'm going to achieve my goal? I'll come to that in a minute, Penny. Achievable. Is it achievable for me to run a marathon? Absolutely. Is it achievable for Penny? Let me just do this while we're on in here. Specific, right? Right, so now we're talking about weight loss. Let me just go on to this. I'm just going to do this while we're here. Okay, I want to help clients to lose weight. This is Penny. It's on all panelists. I hope you don't mind me doing this, Penny. It's brave of you, by the way. Brave as bollocks doing that. Okay, all I want is help to lose clients, but I'm not currently credible. So I'm committed to losing 70 pounds and can do this realistically by December 2021. 70 pounds, 2 seconds.
5 stone.
How much?
5 stone.
It's 5 stone. Yeah. So it's 5 stone. So that's 70 pounds divided by 12. Oh, that come up wrong. I just wanted to figure out how much it is per month.
I normally go for £2 a week, which is half the pound. So 35 weeks. Yeah,
that's it. 35 weeks. So that's right, Freddie. Thanks for your wisdom there, dear sir. That's right. So yeah, so we're looking at 35 weeks. So is it so specific? There's one thing I'm going to teach you about weight loss, folks. And Amanda will know this man who did this for me, who told me this. Weight loss is all about this hole is bigger than that hole. Right? If you remember that with weight loss, then you're in for a treat, right? You're gonna do something. This hole is bigger than this hole. And if Dr. Mark Chambers is on here, he was the one who gave me that lovely bit of 35 years of GP experience. It's all about calorie control. So specific. What have we got to do? What's Penny got to do to lose weight now? So she wants to lose that amount of weight. So what's she got to do? She's got to go for deficiency on calorific consumption. So she's got to reduce her calories all the way down and exercise more. That's what we do. We eat less, we exercise more, burn off that fat, burn off, get fitter, feel better about ourselves. Self-esteem and confidence start rising through the roof. We start propelling ourselves even more. So specific, she's got to start doing calorie deficiency. She's got to start bringing down all of those calories. Okay, measurable. Is it measurable what we're going to do? Is it measurable in what she can do? Yes, she can weigh herself every couple of days. So she can measure what her achievement is over those specific times. She can measure what she's doing all the way through. So it's measurable by weight, by watching what her weight is. But I found in weight loss, I didn't use scales. I did at the beginning, but then I realized I preferred looking at clothing. And when I went from a 36 waist down to a 30 waist, that's measurable. I was able to watch myself go from 36, 34, 32 down to there. All right. And that's the way I did it. So is it measurable? Yes. Can we measure our results from that? Yes. Right. Specific calories, less calories, more exercise. Measurable? Yes. By either watching the clothes or watching scales. Is it achievable? Now, come back to that on a safety note. We all know that they roughly say, and I think in the UK, somebody may want to do this. In the UK, I think we say it's around £2 a week. Am I right there, Freddie?
Yeah, well, I say anyway.
About £2 a week, do they say?
You're right, if I say it.
Yeah. Hail, Freddie. Hail, Freddie. So is it achievable? Is it achievable to lose 70 pounds over 12 months? Yes. Can you see how breaking this down into a logical format is now giving Penny an opportunity to now do this? Is it specific? Yes. Cut down on the calories and go deficient on that and then do exercise. Measurable. Yes. We can watch our weight. We can watch our clothing. We can watch the scales. Is it achievable? Is what you've set achievable? Is it achievable for me to go run a marathon next week, considering I haven't done any running for about 6 months? No. Everest next year, when I go to Everest again when I go to Mera Peak next year, which is only 1,000 meters short, 1,000 meters, 3,000 feet, 1,000 meters shorter than Everest. When I do that, could I do that next week? No. That's why I've set a time scale for April. That's why I'm going to start going off my arse on fitness. So in April, I've got that. What have I got to do? I've got to do more walking. I've got to do more fitness. I've got to start losing weight. Is it specific? That's specific. Measurable. Is it achievable? Yes. By watching my fitness levels grow, I know that I'm going to be achievable when I get there. Sorry, I know I can get there. Is it achievable? Yes, absolutely. I know that it's achievable. So there's that there. So then we've got the S, M, and A. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Is it measurable for her? Yes. Can she check her clothes? Can she check the weight? Do this in whatever you're doing. It could be business. I don't care. It could be anything you like. You can put this model over the top. Realistic. Is it realistic for her to do that? Absolutely. If she was to say, I want to lose 70 pounds in 2 weeks, that's unrealistic. It already makes it an unachievable target. So when you're doing this with your clients and you do a smart program with them, you've got to make sure it's within their realm as well. And I'll go through this again in a minute. But the timescale at the very end, she's put 12 months at the very end there, December 2021, so 12 months now. She's going to be sitting here in a size 6. Freddie, next December, Penny's doing the presentation in a size 6 dress. Yes, a see-through dress. That's what she's doing it in. No, is it achievable? And is in the timescale? Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. Jessica, depending on the size, lifestyle, commitment level of a client, they recommend 1 to 2 pounds. This will give a slight degree of flexibility. December is perfectly achievable in 35 weeks. Absolutely.
But 1 to 2 pounds would get Penny there in 12 months.
Exactly.
But Penny just put something in the chat box. She said, I understand that £2 a week, and then she put in capital letters, but whether I will do it or not. So I want you to talk for a moment about mindset, Karl, because it's okay. We all understand about calories in, calories out. Most people you and I see for weight loss are experts on dieting. Yeah, and they're still overweight. So what would you say to people? What kind of mindset do they need to have?
This comes back to everything. This comes down to everything that we've just been talking about then. We're talking about weight loss because Penny's doing it. Don't forget, this model is about anything that you can do and you can give to your clients. So when you're doing your clients with your clients, you can give them this. When I work with smokers, I'm fucking vicious. I'm horrible with smokers. I am. I just do it that way. I charge. I don't really like doing a lot of smokers. I charge £1,000 for the smoking cessation with me. Right, it's £1,000. I don't get many. I'm not sitting here saying I drive around in a Lamborghini. I just charge high because cigarettes are, if you want to stop, that's £1,000 because at the end of the day, that's something that will make you think before you have another cigarette. Primarily, 2 weeks before I start working with that client, I'll take the money off of them. Okay, and then for 2 weeks. What we'll do is we'll start narrowly bringing it down. And then I tell them 24 hours prior to turning up, you are not allowed a cigarette. You are not allowed a cigarette. 1 day prior to you turning up to me, every day you are going to reduce your intake. You're going to reduce your intake of cigarettes until you get to the Friday. And you're going to phone me up and tell me how many cigarettes you're down to. They're accountable to me, right? They're accountable. This is the key thing. I make them accountable to me. You phone me up, how many ciggies you had today? I had a bit of a blip today, I had 3. Good. Okay, right. So we're still on track, but on the same token, tomorrow we're going to go for it. Right. So I get them into the mindset if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. We get to the day before, 24 hours before, I've told them no cigarettes. And I phone them up, guys, you know, ain't getting on right, good. No cigarettes tomorrow, good. If they commit to that day and if they commit to that program and they're accountable to me, they will stop smoking immediately. They will stop smoking. Why? Because they've been held accountable all the way through it. What you need, Penny, is to be accountable to somebody. And I don't mean go off and drink sloppy shakes in shitty clubs, happy clappy clubs, because that doesn't work. You need to make yourself accountable. Somebody needs to make you accountable for your actions. That's what I was trying to say. You need to, instead of going, well, fuck it, didn't do it this week. You need to get to a point where you need to have a goal at the very end. What are you going to do in December to achieve this goal? I know for me to do Mirror Peak, I've got to work my arse off now, fitness wise, cycling, running, doing as much walking, climbing as much as I can to do that. I have to be, because I've made a commitment. When I did the marathon, do you know how I did this? And this was a brilliant way for me to commit. I sat there one day and I went, I'm going to do it. I went to the computer and I did that. And I went to Just Giving. And do you know what I did? I got people to start sponsoring me. There was no way I was getting backed out of that then. I was accountable to the people that sponsored me. There was no, you're not pulling out of this. When I did Lands in John O'Groats, I got people to sponsor me for that as well. They were both for charities, not me. They weren't sponsoring me. They weren't like just giving me money. They were sponsoring charities. The first one was a cancer charity. Second one was a police charity and stuff like that. Whereas Everest for me was more of a personal achievement, a personal goal. So it was ingrained in me to do it. You have to have something accountable to. And in that case, let's throw it to the floor instead of me just talking. How could Penny be made accountable next year in December? How could she be accountable for that? I'm asking the floor. Because that's how I make myself accountable, by making other people invest in that. By investing in sponsoring me for an event. You know, maybe, you know, Penny, I don't know how old you are and stuff like that, but, you know, is there a sporting event you could go and do? Is there something that you would like to wear? Is there something that you've visualized yourself wearing that special dress again, or whatever it is? Is there something you can do? Is there somebody that can make you accountable? Having a nudge buddy. I've never heard that before. A nudge buddy.
When we started this, when we started creating the body group 8 weeks ago, I did pair people up, and Amanda and Eels, who's here, they've kind of stayed in touch, and that's helped both of them, because they phone each other all day. What have you done? What are you eating today? You know, yeah. And that's been a big thing, and it's still out there for everyone that's watching this now. You know, if you're in the creative, just ask me and I'll pair you up, or contact each other, because having someone like that makes a big difference.
It does. It makes an absolute difference to being accountable and having somebody that will make you accountable for your actions. Now, we all derail. Don't get me wrong. We all derail and have a little bit of a little thing, but on the same token, it's about how we pick ourselves up and go from there. It's about having that mindset of being able to do it and going, no, I fucking want that. I want to get to Mirror Peak. I'll tell you for why I want to get to the top of Mirror Peak, because I want to get to the top of Everest. That's in my head. I know not everybody's like me, and I appreciate that, because that's a good thing and also a bad thing sometimes. But the thing is that because I get so focused on what I'm doing then, but on the same token, that's about drive. How much did you desire this? How much do you want it? How much do you want to lose that 70 pounds? How much do you want to stop smoking? If it's, I can't be fucking bothered, you're not fucking committed. And that's to you.
But motivation in itself, because people feel motivated, but without your mindset of, not right, I'm really motivated to get to the top of Everest, but it's planning. It's not just going, because there's that saying that Everest is littered with the body of highly motivated people.
It is. That's a very.
But they haven't prepared. Unless you prepare and get in and take your time to do that and say, well, this is what I need to do to get where I'm going to go. Being motivated alone is not good enough. Otherwise, you'll just do yourself in.
Yeah. And that's why, Freddie, and then coming back to that with that Everest thing with me, is I should have been in Everest. I should have been in Everest today. I should be in Nepal right now because we've been planning for November, December. I should be in Everest now to do base camp again and then do Mera Peak, which is the high mountain again. And I was going to do that. So I'm progressively building myself up to realize how my body acclimatizes to oxygen. So I've committed to that. I'm on a 5-year plan for this thing. I mean, this year's knocked me back a year, but I was on a 5-year plan to do it. And I always was. When we went, me and Eddie went, even before we went there, I had it in my head, I wanted to get to the top. This was merely just a stepping stone to where I was. But I had to commit to that because like Eddie will tell you, that was fucking hard work as it was. But on the same token, you know, the thing is
that was just after an operation for you as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just had the op. Yeah, I just had that. My
anyway, you had an operation anyway. Yeah.
I didn't know where we're going with that. But you have to commit. You have to do it. You have to be able to have that mindset of going, no, I want this.
Someone's asked the question: what's the difference between realistic and achievable?
Well, achievable is it achievable for me to do this? Is it achievable for me to run a marathon? Is it achievable for me to get to the top of Everest? Yes, with the right training and the right equipment and the right gear that I need to do this. Yes, it's achievable. Is it realistic for me to do it? Yes. But then you then look at the time scale on it, but then it's not realistic if I then say, I'm going to climb Everest next week and I've not done anything. So is it realistic? Well, all the bits, if you tick all the boxes, then go all the way down, then it's there. Realistic is can you do it? Yeah. Can I get to the fucking moon? No, I haven't got a spaceship. That's not realistic. Is it achievable for me to get to Mount Everest? Yes, because it's on the planet and I can walk to it. Does that make sense? I can't get to the moon.
That makes absolute sense. That clears it up.
Yeah. Let me just go through this. Part of me that commits tends to stay at home on too many training days. But that's the thing, Lisa, is that you've got to have the commitment all the time. I don't want to sound like it's not. This isn't about me barking at people or being condescending or anything like that. It's about me trying to open it up. So then you do these things. What was that then? I need to get all my parts playing well together. But right? So then, what do you need to do, Lisa, to get all those parts working? That's the thing. What's that? Law of obsession. There you go. So look, anyone got any questions? You got that? But look, let's just go through that again. So I hope that clears up about achievable and realistic. Achievable is can I do it? Yes. Is it achievable? Is it something I can do? Is running a marathon achievable? Yes. Is it realistic? Yes. Is getting to the moon achievable? Yes. Is it realistic? No, I don't have a spaceship. Not unless I'm Elon Musk. Does that make sense? That's the way I'm looking at that. So specific, whatever you're doing, whether it be a Facebook ad, a fast, whatever it is, what do I need to do to be specific for that tasking? Specific. If I want to run a marathon, I've got to start running. Simple. I have to start running. Specific to what it is. Then I've got measurable. Can I measure what I'm doing? Yes, by each week I run, I'll notice that my fitness levels will increase and I can run further. Or if I'm losing weight, I'll notice I'm getting slimmer. Or I'll notice that the scale's going down. Simple things like that. So is it measurable? Yes. Is it achievable? Yes, absolutely. Is it achievable for Penny to do that next year? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it achievable for me to get to Mera Peak in April? Absolutely. It's going to be a fucking slog. I know that much. Excuse my French, by the way. But it's going to be hard work. But I know that I'm committed to doing that now. I want to do that. And that's what you've got to do. And the realistic thing is, realistic. Is it realistic? Can I get up Mera Peak? Can she do that? Yes. Timescales. Is it achievable? Is the timescale that Penny set achievable? Absolutely. And that's one thing. If you use this model with your clients, you will get the results are far more efficient. But anyone who knows me knows I don't. If you haven't picked up already, I don't pander around with my clients. I make them responsible for their own actions. I don't pander with them. I tell them, and I will swear at them. I tell them I will. I will sit there and I have like I will have arguments.
My question to my weight loss clients is this: there's only one question. That's what I think anyway, and that is, how badly do you want to look or feel that good?
Yeah.
You want it badly enough. I know Penny said the weather's horrible, and it is. It's cold, but that becomes, and I'm not being horrible, but that becomes an excuse. It's another reason to not do it. How badly do you want it? Do you want it badly enough to go put a coat on, get a hat on, and go out in the cold?
Yeah.
Do some exercise. It is that question. How badly do you want to look or feel that good? If you want it badly enough, you can do it. There, as I say to my clients, there are some things we cannot change. Otherwise, I'd be taller. I'd have a lot more hair. But weight loss is not one of those things. If you want it bad enough, you can do it.
Yeah, and the other way to look at this, Freddie, as well, and honestly, Penny, this isn't, because I'll help you out. I don't mind. I'll help anybody out, right? But the same token is that the excuse there is, I don't like going out when it's wet and rainy and all that type of stuff. Go to Facebook Marketplace and buy yourself a treadmill.
Yeah.
Job done. You can do it indoors. There you go. That answers that question. So you've got no excuses, Penny. So we want updates every week. We're not putting any pressure on you. But the thing is that I want you to really look at this about how much do you really want this. And this comes back to when I'm watching therapists, and especially therapists when they're in groups and stuff like that, going, I want to do this next course, but I can't do this because of this, and this, or that's in the way, or this. And I get family life, but when you look at, if anyone ever studied Arnold Schwarzenegger when he first started out, Arnold Schwarzenegger was committed to what he did. If you watch what he did, he used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, run along that beach at Santa Monica, get to Gold's Gym, which is down on the back of Venice Beach, and work out for 2 hours, then go to work, finish work, and then go back to the gym, and then do it again. It didn't matter what was going on. He went in. If he was injured or he injured a part of his body, he would then work another part of the body. He didn't have excuses. He didn't believe in them. When you think about that, every day, that was what that man did to win those Olympian champions, to become the world's best. That's how committed he was to it. When you look at any person that's committed to what they do, especially Arnold Schwarzenegger, the way he did that. When I read that, I was at Venice Beach. There's a thing about Arnie there at the Gold's Gym, what he's on about. But yeah, he used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, train for 2 hours, then go to work. Then when he finished work, he would then go in and go train for another 2-3 hours, go to bed, and then do the same again. That's commitment. That's drive. He wanted the best body. He wanted a sculpted body. He wanted the best body in the world. But there's nothing stopping you guys doing that as well. Whether this be your business, whether this be something for fitness, whether this be something for your family, you can use this, and you've got to commit to the change as well. You have to commit to it. And if you can't commit, how can you ask your this is not to browbeat anybody, this it's about, if you can't commit to yourself to making change, how can we ask others? And that's my point. My point is that I want you to really, 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 really do that.
We've got about 10 minutes left, Carl. Should we open it up to some questions and stuff? Is that all right with you?
Can do. Doreen, just a quick one. Wim Hof. I did a TV program with Wim on. It's called Secrets of the Brain. It's on a Sky. It's now on a secondary Sky channel now. It's called Insight TV. So if you go look for brilliant. If you go look for, I'm on there as well. But if you go on to Insight TV, there's myself and there's Wim Hof, neuroscience. And it's with me and a few other neuroscientists and stuff like that. Yeah. It was a rub off of Sky. It's a Sky funded it, but it just didn't hit Sky One eventually. It's called Insight TV and Secrets of the Brain. Wim Hof's on there, brilliant.
Well, I'm Dutch, so that's why I know him.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
He's excellent. He was on a YouTube video with Sadhguru the other day.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. Yeah. Maybe you could use his technique for your climbing.
Yeah, I know. Well, I do anyway. I live right next to a river, so I'm always dumping in and out of there. That's crap kayaking skills. I'm useless in my kayak. It's not because I want to do it. It's because I keep falling out of the kayak.
Oh, you want that ice bath, right?
Yeah. No, funny enough, actually, I did see a barrel today, and I thought, should I buy that barrel? No.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so Luba, I'm more efficient if I have a deadline. Absolutely, it's bigger than my desire. How do I create a deadline if there's no pressure? Right. What is the Luba? What is the goal that you're looking to do? What is the goal? What else we got in here? Timeline, timescale. What does the T stand for? Timescale, timeline, timescale. It doesn't matter.
It's my website. To finish my website.
Do you know what to do? Go onto your YouTube, go onto your Facebook page tonight, and into Freddie's group, and tell everyone what day you're launching your platform, and tell everybody to view your platform on that day.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, thanks.
That's the way of making it accountable to other people, isn't it? What you're doing is you're saying to people, I'm going to launch my website on February the 31st. What have I got to do? I've got to get a web designer or do it myself. Is it measurable? Yes, because we'll watch it as it's growing. Is it achievable? To February, I could get a website up and done for you in 2 days. Wouldn't be that good, but I could still get one up. Is it achievable? Yes, by February, absolutely. Is it realistic? Yes, it is. With the right equipment and with the right person and with the right mentoring on how to do a website, absolutely. Timescale, is it achievable by February? Absolutely. So could you? Yes.
I wanted to do by myself. I don't want to engage anybody. I know if I would pay somebody, it would be done fast, but I want to do it by myself. That's why it's a kind of pressure for me, and I want to do a lot of different stuff in between, and there's so much to do, and it's just like I'm pushing it aside.
Top tip, right? Anyone who's listening to this, top tip. If you're good at what you're doing, right, and you've probably heard this before, if you're good at what you're doing, pay some other numpty to do the other jobs, what they're good at. You will, if you go to Wix,
Outsource.
if you outsource it, go to things like Upwork.com, Upwork, 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 Rent a Mum, which is mums that have got like babies and stuff like that that want to continue working. I think it's called Rent a Mum. I'll get the right link for you. Don't spell that wrong because you'll get the wrong website. The rent a mum, right? And you get Rent a Mum, right? And that's all yummy mummies that want to carry on working and stuff like that, right? That's a genuine site. Things like Upwork.com, go to there and just get people to do you a landing page. You don't need to have a full-blown website. As long as you can have a landing page where people can go and peruse and you can get your product out there for now, because that's all I do. That is what I do. I learned all that, and now I just give it to other people. So other people.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Look, so what's stopping you from achieving your goals is something that you're not bloody good at, that you're going to waste an enormous amount of time at, and at the very end go, that's really good, but it could be better because you didn't give it to somebody else. And I learned, and if there's one thing I can give you out of this, is stop faffing around with shit jobs that you can't do. Whereabouts are you in the world?
Switzerland.
I'm in Switzerland, yeah.
There's a guy, right, that did my Karl Smith hypnotherapy website. Now, my UK Hypnosis Academy website, that's nearly £9,000 worth of kit. All the jiggery pokery around the back, the website, the SEO, everything. That's about £9,000. But my Karl Smith hypnotherapy website, I pay a guy called Black Web Designs, I think it's called, Black Web. His name's Tom. I'll get the details for you. But it's only he does all the bloody work for you, and only costs £20 a month. I don't have to do anything. He built it. He did it. I didn't have no upfront fees. He built it. And I just pay him £20 a month. It's Black Web.
All right. I'll connect with you to get an information because I don't want to hold the people.
No, that's cool. But that's the thing. Black Web websites.
I've got to go in a minute or so because I'm committed to this daily. I've committed to doing this daily hypnosis at 9 o'clock for the next.
But guys, anyone else got any quick questions? Karl, it's been a privilege to listen to you. Thank you very much for doing it. I know I can run over. I can talk about stuff all day long, trying to get it out and doing it that way. But yeah, Dave, you've got to be accountable. If I give you anything out of this, It's sacrificing. It's having a purpose. Humans have to have a purpose. You've got to sacrifice some shit. You've got to sacrifice things. You've got to have a purpose. You've got to have determination, and you've just got to have this thing in your head. Is that, do you really want this? Are you really up for it? And that's where I'm going to leave it there, because
thanks, Carl. You were great, mate, as usual. And
does it help you? And that's the key thing, you know, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic timescale. Watch this back later on. Any problems, ping me a message and I'll help you. I don't mind. I take 5 minutes.
It's really kind of you, really good of you. But I appreciate, I know everyone else appreciate you coming on doing this for us. The hour's gone just like that.
It normally does when I'm swearing.
But thanks again, Carl. I'll say I've committed to this thing, so I've got to go and do it. Otherwise, I'll be your evening. But hopefully, we'll catch up soon somewhere.
Yeah, we will do. Yeah, yeah. So a gin, dear boy, a gin, in a nice big bulbous glass. So it makes me like an arse.
A pint of beer, yeah. I know what you mean.
Folks, been a pleasure. Thank you.
I'll see you.
Thank you, Carl.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
you.
Thanks.
Bye now.
Penny, you didn't monopolize it. You didn't monopolize it, darling. You were just being shown, my sweetheart. Take care.
Bye now.